William Wilberforce. This gentleman should follow the example of William Wilberforce, who was a born-again Christian. Who was a born-again Christian who lived for truth.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello.
Just turn the microphone off. I'll have a quick chat with you.
I don't need to turn the microphone off, sir.
No, okay.
What's your name and shoulder number?
My name's PC Harrington. My shoulder number's displayed there on my uniform.
And what's your name and shoulder number, sir?
What's he been saying?
Yes.
He's been saying a lot of homophobic comments.
Okay.
So what's going on?
What's going on?
Like saying women and women should not be together.
He knows that.
Women should have a strong man. Very inappropriate, really.
Okay. Can you step down for me, please, sir?
No.
Okay. At this moment in time, you're under arrest for Section 5 public order offence aggravated by homophobia. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later write in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Okay? If you could step down for me, please, you're under arrest.
This is an unlawful arrest.
It's not an unlawful arrest. If you could step down for me, please. How is it an unlawful arrest?
It's an unlawful arrest because I'm standing under Public Order Act 1986, hatred against persons on religious grounds or on grounds of sexual orientation, Part 3A and Part 3AJ.
Okay, well I think you're in a public place causing people harassment, alarm and distress, which has been aggravated by homophobia.
Listen, okay? This law protects freedom of expression, and today I'm on public ground and I'm expressing myself publicly in preaching. What I'm doing today is lawful. What I'm doing today is legal.
Well, I have a reasonable suspicion that you're causing harassment, alarm and distress in a public place. Okay, to all these people that have been stood around and hearing what you've been saying. Okay?
Well, no, that's not what's happening. I'm preaching.
Well, that's fine, but that's what my suspicion is, and that's why you're under arrest at this moment in time.
Are you going to get the stuff then? That's fine. So,
yeah, we'll get all your stuff. We'll get it in a van.
So just listen.
Okay.
So now, okay, just.
Run me a whiskey 2-1,
just for this, okay. So now, okay.
Now you're under arrest.
No, listen. So now I'm being detained.
Don't pull away from me.
Yeah, we've got this adult male IC for public order, Section 5.
That up. Will you pick that up, please?
I'll pick that up for you.
Okay.
2-1, you haven't got a van that can come by, you've got a bit of stuff.
Do you want to take your backpack off for us?
Why?
Well, under Section 32 of PACE, okay, I'm allowed to search you to make sure you've not got anything dangerous on yourself, okay? Well, part of that is going to involve searching this bag to make sure you've not got anything you could use to escape.
I want to keep on recording you.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
I know you don't want that, do you?
It's not that I don't want that. Everything's been recorded on my body-worn video.
Yeah.
Okay, it has from the moment since I've turned up.
Yeah.
If you could pop your hands behind your back for me, please.
Steps, we'll try. We'll just see whether we can.
She knows the law. This is unlawful arrest. You've got that on video. I've put it on YouTube as well. This is called an unlawful arrest. You see? I know, but it's legal to stand on public ground and preach and speak.
Guys, go on, just get a bit of them, alright?
So what are the grounds for this arrest?
You've been told that.
You haven't. What are the grounds?
The grounds are you've been in a public place, okay, the allegation is that you've caused members of the public here
the allegation
harassment, alarm or distress. Okay?
No.
Which is an offence under Section 5 of the Public Order.
No, what you're doing is you're only quoting one part of that act. The public order.
That's the part that you've been arrested for.
No. You need to for a violation of Public Order Section 5, I need to be in violation of both parts, which is I need to behave in a way in which it will cause somebody.
And obviously you are.
No, that's not what's happening.
Well, we've had a call to say that you are.
Yes, but what you're doing is you've basically listened to.
I'm just going to take this handcuff off so that I can get this.
To take this to arrest me on this.
Excuse me, sir. I'm just going to take the handcuff off to take this strap off. All right. Just make sure you don't make any sudden movements.
This arrest, to be an unlawful arrest. Okay, that's what's going to happen.
Can you just grab hold of that arm, please, Colin?
Yeah.
I'll just take the cuffs off to get this strap off.
Will de-arrest me.
Okay.
It's an unlawful arrest.
There we go. Just double up those so they don't get any tighter.
Put in my pocket, please.
Yeah.
Is your speaker going to be alright in the rain?
We'll take them to the car. We'll sort it.
You have to carry it all, guys.
We'll come back.
Yeah. Cheers.
Good job, lads.
Oh, bloody hell. Stubbed me toe. That's going to look good on camera, isn't it? 2, 1, go ahead. Yeah, I've got no complaint forthcoming at this time. This mail's telling me that his arrest is unlawful and that he's got a right to stand and do what he said. He's not told me about anything like that, and when we've arrived there's just been a teacher's talking to him.
You need to speak to the sergeant.
We've had a call to say that apparently you've been threatened by some of the students, is that right?
Threatened by some of the students?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, some of the students were throwing things at me.
Okay.
Okay. But because,
what were they throwing at you?
Highlighters and things like that.
Did any of them hit you?
None of them hit me. But
Okay.
one of the students at the end was coming behind me and being a bit intimidating.
Right.
But that's all.
Okay.
But what you need to do is, okay, you need to have a word with the sergeant because
Okay.
I've been preaching, okay,
I'll tell you
in
what.
the open air, and I know the law.
I'll tell you
And
what,
I don't
once
want you to,
the-
I don't want you to commit a wrongful arrest.
No, that's fine. Once the van's here, we'll pop you in the back. I'll give him a ring just to make sure that you're...
For you as
yeah,
well.
Yeah. That's fine. We'll get your stuff in there as well. And if it turns out you're right, then I'll de-arrest you. Okay?
Yeah, that's good. That makes sense, doesn't it?
All right. So what are you saying? What's this act that you're talking about?
Sorry?
What's this act that you're saying protects you?
Okay. Public Order Act,
Yeah.
1986.
Yeah.
Hatred against persons on religious grounds or on grounds of sexual orientation.
Okay.
Part 3A and Part 3A, 3AJ. Not, yeah. And it's to protect freedom of expression.
Okay.
What that means is,
So that gives you a right to stand and do what you're doing.
It gives us
under religious grounds, or
this is freedom of expression for all
Okay.
citizens. We have freedom of expression. We can talk about other people's religions. We can talk about sexuality.
yeah. And
publicly.
I understand that. And I understand under the Human Rights Act, your freedom of expression as well.
I've got
But
freedom of religion.
that right, okay, can't infringe on other people's rights either. So that's what I'm saying at the moment. My suspicion, based on the phone call that was made and from the conversations I've had with people present, is that you've been causing harassment, alarm, or distress, or likely to.
Yes, I know, but look,
okay.
the Public Order Act, Section 5.
Yeah.
There's 2 parts to that.
Okay.
One part is what you've done is you've arrested me based on somebody expressing that they felt alarmed and distressed.
Okay.
But the other part of that, sir, is that the other person has to behave or do something likely to cause somebody alarm and distress. And my behaviour today is not likely to cause anybody alarm or distress because my behaviour is lawful.
Okay.
My behaviour is lawful, and I'm standing under Public Order Act 1986. Hatred against persons on religious grounds. It protects freedom of expression. I've simply been expressing the Christian faith. I've been taking questions from the students and engaging with the students on all matters of faith and religion, okay? And what's happened is some of the teachers have come out and they've started to complain that their classes were being distracted.
Yeah.
And I was preaching and finishing up my message until I'm about to go because my car is parked just there in that car park
right.
where I'm about to go home. So my behaviour today is absolutely lawful.
Okay. Like I say, I'll have that conversation once the van gets in. We'll get you out of the rain.
Yeah.
We've got you secure.
I would appreciate as well if I'm be arrested, I could be arrested here because I don't want to be criminalised in front of all the students.
Romeo Whiskey 212XH. First off, in terms of the behaviour of the students, Ismail says he has had highlighters thrown towards him, none of which have hit him. So we'll leave that as a separate incident, and we'll have a look at that when we return back to the college. So far. Yeah, secondly, this mail says that under the Public Order Act there is an exemption for him to be doing what he's doing. I don't suppose anyone can just have a look at that just to make sure, because he's adamant that this is an unlawful arrest and he's not done anything wrong. Go ahead. Yeah, the allegation is that he's been saying women shouldn't be together, that same-sex relationships shouldn't happen. Yes, with a microphone and an amp, and it's actually just on the street outside of Hull College.
Public property, public land.
Yeah, thank you. Don't know where this phone is. You give Andy a ring to see where he is? You give Andy a ring to see where he is?
I'll give him a ring. Hi mate, you far off?
Yeah, it's not just unlawful because of the protections I have in freedom of expression,
okay.
But it doesn't qualify as public order section 5 because, like I say, there needs to be
Go ahead, Sarge.
2 parts to that legislation.
Yes. So as we've arrived, he's been stood on a platform with a microphone and an amp. One of the allegations from the tutors here is that he's saying two females shouldn't be in a relationship together, shouldn't be having sexual relations, and likewise with any same-sex partnership. Sorry, I missed that last bit. Go again. For section 5 public order offences. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Cole, can you just grab hold of him?
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Andy in that stuck in traffic inquiry, mate. They're gonna be...
Sorry, say that again, Sarge.
He's got me if you want him to have me.
Yeah, because of what he's been saying, some of the students have been throwing highlighters at him.
Just walk around and we'll get you sat in for now. What's happening? Good for you out the rain and that as well.
Why do I need to be in?
Well, if you're going to tell Steve, you'll be coming in.
Sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. Say that again, Sarge.
Basically looking to get clarification from the sergeant.
Okay, I just wanted to ask if you want to get out the rain in a minute.
No thanks, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the teachers definitely will be, and I'm sure we'll be able to wrangle up some other students as well. Yeah, this chap's saying that there's an exemption under the Act, where he's allowed to have some expression of freedom.
Freedom of expression.
Freedom of expression. Part 3A, I think he said it was.
Yeah, it's Public Order Act 1986, hatred against persons on religious grounds or grounds of sexual orientation, and it's Part 3A and Part 3AJ.
Yes, we do, because he's got a few bits with him. Were you able to have a look at that, just to ease my own doubts? It says it's the Hatred Against People Act on religious grounds or sexual orientation.
Freedom of expression, yeah. Protection of freedom of expression.
Yeah, thanks. I have had a frank discussion with this chap and said, you know, if he's right, then I'll happily de-arrest him. which I think is fair enough, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
What?
You're doing the right thing instead of being hasty.
What's your name? So I haven't got your name.
Right, well, yeah, I'll give you my name because I'm under arrest. I'm under arrest right now.
You are under arrest, yeah.
My name's David. Yeah.
What's your surname? Your date of birth, David?
My date of birth is. I was unlawfully arrested in Huddersfield in September.
Doing the same thing?
Doing the same thing. The case has just finished. The police has had to award me £3,250 for an unlawful arrest. And if this happens today, a similar thing will happen.
Yeah. Romeo Whiskey 2126. I've got this chap's details when you're ready. Yes, he's having a look into it for me. Yeah, first name of...
Things will flag up off my youth, by the way. I became a Christian in 2000.
No, just get spelling for you. How do you spell your surname? Spelling when you're ready. Yeah. Yeah, received, thank you. Just further to that, he says that this happened in Huddersfield back in September last year. He made a complaint about the unlawful arrest and he was awarded compensation money for it.
It was.
You say September?
It was not December gone, but the December before.
So December 2019?
Yes. Yeah, just before the pandemic and everything. Yeah. And because I do this, I know the legislation in regards to what comes up, breach of the peace, public order section 5, and what else? Hate crime legislation. I've studied all them.
Yeah. It sounds like you've done your research. Do you want to sit in the car? I'll leave the door open,
no,
just out of the rain.
I'm okay.
Do you want your hood up or anything?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
There's actually lots of I've got actually lots of YouTube videos on lots of videos on YouTube, me communicating with police officers on the ground, where I talk to them about these laws and legislation.
Yeah, Whiskey 2-1, that was monitored. Leave it with me, I'll come back to you shortly. Right. Sorry, say that again. Where were you born, Dave? So if I was to de-arrest you, what would be your plan, considering it's absolutely throwing it down now?
To go home. I'm just going to have a little word with that lady just there.
Is this the one that was saying the arrest was unlawful? She seemed like she was...
I'm just going to go and just say hello to her because she's hung around, and then I'm going to just go in the car and go home.
Okay. I'm just going to wait a bit of confirmation from our sergeant first.
Yeah.
Okay. But from what other people have said, it might be leaning towards that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to go have a word with the staff?
Yeah, if you could do, mate. Just get proper clarity on what's been said specifically.
Because I know the law.
It sounds like you've read up on it.
I know not to step
Not
over
to
the line.
infringe it, yeah.
And I don't want to step over the line because I'm there to do the students good, to love them and bring the Christian message to them.
I'll take these handcuffs off you, mate, because I don't think you're going to start running anywhere, are you? Alright. Obviously you're still under arrest at this moment in time, but I just don't think there was any need for them to be on anymore. So whereabouts are you living? Are you not living in Hull?
I live in...
Right, okay.
So I've been working in Hull today.
Right.
Because I work in property, so...
Oh, right, okay.
Had to meet a surveyor this morning and show me around
the
property. But because I'm also an open air preacher,
okay.
I preached in town and there's nothing much doing there. And I've been driving past here on a number of occasions, and this is the statue of William Wilberforce.
Yeah.
Are you aware of William Wilberforce?
Not massively, no, I'm not from the whole area.
He basically fought for the abolition of the slave trade.
Oh, right.
And he was also a born-again Christian like me.
Okay.
And he was a great MP, powerful MP of Hull. But
Yeah.
that was when they covered a much larger area than what they did today. So so I saw the college, and I thought, and I've preached at other colleges as well.
Yeah.
This is not the first time I've preached outside a college.
Yeah.
And so again, some of the police officers were coming at us. I mean, some of the staff are saying it's illegal for you to film. Well, it's not. If you're you know the law. If you're on public property, you can film. That's how you can film.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see, because they don't know the law on that.
Yeah.
And then they were sort of trying to make a data protection issue, but that's not. Whatever data protection has to do with the data they collect on site.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Bear with me 1 second. Go ahead, Sarge. Yeah, no worries. Hello. Yeah. No, not towards any individuals. No, it was just. Yeah. 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 I don't know if you've looked outside, but it's absolutely throwing it down, so I don't think that's going to be required, to be honest. I'm perfectly happy to de-arrest this chap, send him on his way, and there should be hopefully no further issues. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, he's not from this area though, Sarge. He doesn't live here. He doesn't live anywhere near here. He's just been working here today, so. Yeah, yeah. So. Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. I have, yeah. It's just on what. Yeah, it's just on what. It's just on what grounds does he get a 35? Do you know what I mean? If you're saying that there's no. Yeah, I see your point. Yeah, okay, not a problem. I'll see if the boss can authorise one. If not, then it'll just be. Right. What's this collar number? It's alright, I'll start up and get it. Okay, no worries. Okay, I'll give him a ring. Right, cheers, bye. Okay, you're no longer under arrest. Okay, but I am going to be potentially looking at giving you a section 35 dispersal notice. Okay, so let me just. But I need an inspector's authorisation to have a 34 dispersal order put on the area.
That means I can't come back here within 24 hours.
24 or 48, depending on. So it'll be causing antisocial behaviour.
Oh, right. Okay. But I'm not causing antisocial behaviour. Everything that I've done is lawful. Surely I should just be...
That's the discussion I'm going to have. Hi boss, I don't know if you've been covering this whole college job. Yeah, sorry. Basically, there's been a fellow stood on a platform outside of Hull College, preaching his opinions about homosexuality. I've initially locked him up for Section 5. After a discussion and a review of the law around that sort of thing, he's been de-arrested at this moment in time. The conversation I've just had with Sergeant Harmer was about potential authority for a Section 35 dispersal notice to give this chap a Section 35 dispersal order, although my argument was if we can't justify a Section 5, can we justify antisocial behaviour from this chap? Apparently somebody's looked into the legislation with this kind of thing, with the freedom of expression, because he's just airing his opinion as opposed to directing it towards anybody. It's not an offence, or it's shaky ground apparently.
I'm teaching from the Bible. I'm teaching from the Bible.
Yes, I think you've got my number, haven't you? These things are terrible in the rain. Hi boss, you're right. Yeah. It is awful. So he's been preaching from the Bible his the opinions about homosexuality. Women shouldn't be together, they shouldn't have sexual relations similarly with men. Like I said, people have had a look at the legislation and the Human Rights Act and that kind of thing, and apparently it's sticky ground as it's not directed it towards specific people. It's just been preaching about the Bible and his own opinions. Yeah. Yeah. He's not had the book specifically in his hand, no, but I'm sure he's memorised it, to be honest. So, you did have a Bible in his hand. Sorry, just when we turned up, I don't think he did. Yeah. So it's not been directed towards anybody specifically. So, it's just a smart one. So yeah, it's just on you if you want to authorise a 34 authority. To be honest, he doesn't live in the area. He's a perfectly pleasant guy. He knows the legislation, he knows what he's talking about, and his plan now is to get himself home. He works in property, he's just been surveying some property in Hull. He's parked nearby, and his plan was, I think, to just get in his car and go home now. Yeah, where did you say you lived again? Yeah.
I'm across York here tomorrow, so I'm not going to be back here tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my plan, yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah, but again, like that's, he's not the one causing the breach of the peace, is he? Even though what he's saying is aggravating the crowd. So Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to double check with Colin, see if he's got into the college, just make sure nothing was directly targeted, and then I'll go with that, boss. I think that. Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, yeah, absolutely. Okay, no worries. I'll find out from Cole what's going on, and then we'll sort that out. All right. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
I'm no longer detained. I'm de-arrested.
I told you you're no longer under arrest. Okay. I just want to make sure, colleague has gone inside to make sure that what you've said, you haven't specifically targeted a person and said you would be going to hell for, homosexuality, anything like that. Once I've clarified that's the case, then I'm happy for you to.
Yeah, but
to go home.
like I say, even saying to somebody, if you live that way, you will end up in hell, isn't...
Hello mate, has anything specifically been targeted at anybody that you know of? I can hear you, I think my radio's waterlogged though, can you hear me? Can you ring Cole? I think my radio's waterlogged. They don't work well in the rain. But I think you heard the discussion I just had with my inspector about the 34 authority, and I think if... Go ahead, Sarge. Yeah, I think my radio's waterlogged. Can you hear me? Okay. I just need to know if anything's been specifically targeted to anyone. So if you can do that as soon as you can.
The thing is, if I'm not under arrest,
You are, but I was just hoping you'd just give me 2 minutes to make sure. It is, yeah. Hello. He has, yeah. Alright, so that's all you needed. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, okay. No problem, Sarge. That's, like I say, Wakefield area, so hopefully that'll be adequate distance. Yeah. Alright, they're calling me on the radio, so I'll... Cheers. Bye. My radio's waterlogged, so if you could just answer. Yeah, it's because they were talking, if you try again.
the thing is, all the evidence is stored on the body camera, and I've had 2 video cameras going
Yeah.
all the time. So again,
Which would be
all the evidence.
Which would be part of our reasonable inquiry. If we were to have gone through with the arrest, taking you to custody and that kind of thing, that evidence would have been reviewed as part of our
So
reasonable
that's what
inquiry.
happened when I was unlawfully arrested.
Yeah,
I was recording everything on a dictaphone.
because you had both your phone and the body camera.
Yeah, I've got a body camera
Yeah.
and I've got a mobile phone playing throughout.
Yeah.
You see, because that protects me from lying accusations and so forth.
Right, okay.
That's exactly the same reason why you guys have body cameras, to protect you.
Yeah, that is
and
part
to
of it,
protect
yeah.
others as well.
Gather evidence, but also we do get a lot of complaints, as you can imagine. And
So basically, when I was unlawfully arrested,
yeah,
I was recording everything on the dictaphone.
yeah,
So when I was arrested, the sergeant listened to the whole recording and just saw straight away that there was no grounds whatsoever
yeah,
for my arrest. So came and de-arrested me after being in the cell for 6 hours.
right,
And like I say, the police have just had to pay out £3,250
yeah.
for the unlawful arrest.
You're just talking to the last one now, which is normally going to be a slow time zone,
If anything, yeah. I think he's got... I'm hoping this is open. He's stuck in it, hasn't he? Yeah, so... So your plan now...
This lady, she's been waiting all that
Do you want to go do that while I get your stuff out? Right, okay. Yeah, cheers mate, you get yourself off. It's an interesting one that, wasn't it? See you in a bit. Your strap thing, did you get that back? You know the strap thing that you had separately? Did he put it in the bag?
Yeah.
Oh, that's alright then. I wanted to make sure. But yeah, I'm happy for you to get yourself on your way, obviously. Yeah. Alright. You know, I'm happy to listen to people if they've got, you know, something to, you know.
No, I would have, like I say, I would have had a conversation with you. So I just felt on that occasion that I just felt, from my experience of this and with officers, I felt as though that I felt as though your response to arrest me was quite quick.
Okay.
Instead of maybe having a bit of a dialogue first.
Yeah. My concern is when there's a large crowd of people that I've already been told on the way here has been quite hostile, is that the best thing to do would probably have been remove you from that for your own safety and to avoid any further offences really. And then I was perfectly happy to have that dialogue. But I've been given the sort of information that I've been given, which has led to my suspicion. So that's the level of suspicion I've had to effect that arrest. And then I've had that conversation with you afterwards, which is why I've then de-arrested you. Okay, and I've obviously had my supervision and other officers have a look at the legislation about what you were saying, as well as looking at the Human Rights Act side of things as well, which is why I'm happy to have de-arrested you. Okay, my colleague's in there talking to some people now. If for whatever reason anybody does disclose anything that could lead to offences, we'll deal with that. Slow time, we've got your details so we know where to find you if we needed to. I can't see that's going to happen, but it's just to make you aware that, you know, if somebody does make that allegation. Do you have a telephone number you want to give me or anything like that so I can get in touch with you? Or yeah, we've got, yeah.
I think, if there's any accusations, it's good to let me know that I've got everything recorded.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Everything is recorded and I'm storing that.
Yeah.
Because people have kind of made lying accusations.
Yeah.
And when officers have pulled people up on that,
yeah.
back down.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I say,
this doesn't lie.
No, absolutely not. And like you say, we've got these for the same reason, because people have made complaints about us. Well, they haven't been true. Obviously, there are times when they have, but yeah, there have been instances where this has protected us quite well. And if there was an investigation to look at in that regard, then as a reasonable inquiry, that information will be looked at as part of the evidence. Because you know, the evidence isn't about tripping you up; it's about looking at the whole picture and collecting all the information, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Would you guys let the staff at the college know that I've been de-arrested?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you know, I think that will help the situation.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, alright. Okay, you too. Get out of the rain. Alright. Cheers, see you later.